Has he been sleeping all day?
You know, sometimes people get thrown off balance when bad things happen, but they come good again in the end.
It was always really hard for me to cast Hesher, the character, because he was so specific, and I couldn't imagine an actor playing him, like someone that I knew their name, because I was like, I wanted him to be like Luke Skywalker in a way, like, that's Luke Skywalker. I don't know what the actor's name playing it is, but as far as I'm concerned, that's Luke Skywalker. And I wanted you to say that about Hesher, and it was hard to say, oh, that's so-and-so dressed up. I was like, that doesn't work. But when I met Joe, the guy is such an amazing actor, and he really is a chameleon. Like, he transforms into another guy, and once we really got into it, I was like, this guy's the real deal. And I was so blown away that the fact that I could look at him and forget that he's Joe, you know. And it's funny because I feel like Natalie does the same thing in Black Swan, where you just forget that that's that girl, you know. And Joe does the same thing. He disappears into the character, and you know, and Rain too. You know, it's like I kind of love that everyone's sort of not playing what they normally do. Even Piper Laurie, who she's so incredible, but you know, like in Carrie, she is the opposite of the character she plays in Hesher. And I don't know, it's just fun. This is what these guys are good at, you know. This is why they're movie stars, you know. They're so talented and they're so capable of transforming. I don't understand it. I have so much respect for what they do, but I don't understand it. I can't do it. Well, for me, first and foremost, Hesher was a complex character with, you know, a long backstory. He's not that way for no reason, you know, and that was important to make him that guy, you know. So everything he does is motivated. He feels very random, but it's not. But the idea that he represents more than that, you know, and the idea that, you know, the film is about loss and dealing with loss, and about a bunch of people that are lost, including Hesher, and they kind of all need each other to find the way. But Hesher maybe represents death, you know, like the idea that this terrible, scary, really fucked up thing moves into your house, and it's not invited, and there's nothing you can do about it, and he's not going anywhere. And once they kind of learn how to sort of function with him there, in a sense he goes away. But he's always part of their lives, there's no doubt about that. And but he also represents life, you know. He shows these people, he reminds them of some very basic, simple things that we take for granted every day, you know. And you don't have to be a genius to point that stuff out, but we forget. And he points it out, you know. And part of what makes Joe so good is, like, not only is he capable of being really honest, but with Hesher there were so many little notes that he needed to hit in order to make some of those scenes play. And in a weird way, it was a weird technical exercise mixed with this emotional exercise, and he's so capable of doing that. But yeah, it was really specific. She's awesome, you know. She's amazing, you know, in so many ways. And you know, when I was writing the script, I always imagined her in the role, but I didn't think she'd actually be in the movie. And she was the first person I sent the script, and a couple of days later she called me and we talked about it, and she signed on to do the movie, and she really wanted to help get it made, and so she came on as a producer. And she was so supportive of me and the script and my vision, and she is really the reason this movie got made. But in terms of Piper Laurie, I mean, it's just like she been nominated for 3 Oscars. Like, she is amazing, you know. And Hesher also needs someone like that. Like, she does not judge him for 1 second, you know, and he probably hasn't had that for a very long time.
Hello there, young man.
Hey, old lady.
Yeah, well, so it was all shot in LA, kind of on the outskirts. I really wanted the film to be timeless in a way. Like, I feel like in some suburban cities, you know, you don't. It's hard to say when it is. You know, I tried to stay away from technology. Like, the film could take place now or 10 years ago, and I love the texture of the old '70s films, and and you know, so a lot of LA has a lot of those kind of locations and buildings, and so I tried to find those and make it feel like that. But you know, LA is a hard place to shoot in because everyone's so film savvy. You know, especially when you're making a low budget film, it's like everything's expensive. You know, when you shoot like out of town, sometimes people are like, "Hey, yeah, shoot in my front yard. Do you want lemonade?" It's like awesome, but not in LA. I Love Sarah Jane I made while I was in the middle of writing Hesher, and it was really because I like making things, and writing is, although you are creating, it's not as exciting as filming something and putting it together and realizing an idea in the same way. So I don't know, it's all sort of been an ongoing process, and it's all kind of been happening. And so originally I wanted to make this feature, the I Love Sarah Jane feature, and I felt like the best way to pitch it was to show people, because it's really about tone in this world, and I felt like I'd have a better chance of explaining it if I could just show them. So I went in and made the short, which is kind of a slice into this world, and but my intention was always to make a feature, and I've been writing it, and it's still early days, but I'm really excited about it, and you know, hopefully if people go and see Hesher, it'll make it so I get to make the feature. Well, I mean, I hope that they learn a little bit from him, from his chaos. I hope they listen to some of his little bits of wisdom that he gives this family and thinks about it. You know, we shouldn't take people for granted, and he reminds people of some really basic things, and you know, I think it would be good if you know, I also feel like I think there's a little bit of Hesher in everybody, and I think sometimes it's good to be a little bit like Hesher, you know. And someone earlier had quoted one of the lines from the film, which, you know, I was glad that he picked up on it, but in a way it sums up the whole movie, where somebody says life is like walking in the rain. Yeah, you could either hide and take cover, or you can just get wet. And it's sort of thrown away in the film, but that is the movie, you know, and I don't know, live your life, and don't be afraid to do things that are out of your comfort zone. And
Hesher, is that a name?
You know that mouse will stick my head in the toilet. Just stand there and watch him do it. Get out of my grandma's house.
Hey!